So here is my Bandit e-bike. I've had it for a couple of years now, and so far I haven't had really very many issues with the bike. The battery has been excellent. This was the upgraded battery size for this bike, and that's been great. I've been able to drive it for quite a few miles before ever even needing to think about charging it. I typically end up charging it when it's probably at about 60 to 70% battery left, just in case I end up taking it further the next go round and I don't have to worry about battery life. I haven't really driven this bike that much, quite honestly. I've got it, I live up on the mountains, and so most of the miles that are on this bike, looks like it's got 225 miles on it. Most of them have been, going up and down the mountains and things like that. I've been able to go up the hill at roughly 12 miles an hour if I just use the bike itself. If I pedal, I can still go uphill roughly 15 miles an hour without having to pedal too hard. The suspension in the front of the bike still works, so I haven't really had any issues with that. The only major issue I've encountered is one of the brakes stopped working. So I would pull on the lever and the lever would just kind of bottom all the way out. And I was trying to figure out what it was. I didn't put a whole lot of effort into it. We kind of just stopped using the bike because of it. But I decided to bring it to the shop today and tinker with it and see if I could figure out what it was. Ultimately, it was a super simple fix. There is still quite a bit of brake pad material left, but there wasn't enough for it to be able to collapse anymore. It was just kind of going past the ability of the wire to be able to pull it closed. So right here on the back side, there is this little Allen key adjustable thing that says pad adjustment. So if you just turn this clockwise, it squeezes the pads a little bit closer, and I was actually able to do it on the front and rear, and it made it to where now I have very stiff brake feel almost right when I squeeze the handle. Anytime in the future, if anybody has a bike like this, I think most e-bikes are going to be very similar. Most of them are going to have the same type of disc brakes. That's the way to adjust them. This bike does have a derailleur on it. It's got 7 speeds, and those have all worked. It still works to this day. I haven't had any issues with the derailleur. So far, if I were to rate this bike, we could rate this bike based on a couple different things. Let's say comfortability. It's definitely not the most comfortable bike, so I'm going to say it's probably a 6. Longevity, I think, has been excellent. So I would say longevity is a 10. How robust of a bike it is, how well it's held up over the course of owning it. Other than that brake adjustment, I would say it's been a 9. The tires are good. I haven't had to replace any tubes or anything like that. So if you're in the market for an e-bike, I know that there's a lot of brands out there. The Super 73 has been awesome. I've got a couple of those as well, but I'm actually dealing with some issues with my Super 73s that I haven't had to deal with on the Bandit. So if you're in the market for one, don't be afraid to check out the Bandit e-bike. We should take the bike for a quick little spin. Turn it on, click this button here, get my digital dash going. It's a fun little bike to ride. If you get on the throttle, it picks up pretty quick. It goes pretty quick. Well, there you have it, guys. I hope you enjoyed my video on the Bandit Flex Bandit bike. I'm not sure if these are even available to buy anymore, but if you can find one on the used side and the miles aren't too bad, I would highly recommend getting one.